Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney. I still can't light myself properly. It's insane how many lights I have here. And it's better, I guess, but it's not like perfect. Not that it ever really was, but I like to think we can learn things and fix problems that outside my field of expertise. Perhaps I'm mistaken about that. We have a question from YouTube user Pamaroon. Actually, today and tomorrow we're going to be answering questions by them from Pamaroon. And the question today goes a little something like this: what are the key ingredients in getting a potential high case settlement? Okay, there's a number of different paths to a high case settlement, and we may not even agree on what is high, right? I've spoken with people who have flat out told me 30 million is nothing to me. It's like, bro, you make 28K a year. Uh, you couldn't afford the subway fare to get here. Like, that's okay, and I respect that, and we've all been there, but like, why are you telling me 30 million is nothing to you? And why are we talking about 30 million? Your case is worth like, potentially like 150K or something like that, right? Like, it's like, okay, well, I can see we're having a realistic conversation. Um, but listen, there are $1 million cases out there. There are $10 million. It happens, and those cases tend to be tied to people who are high earners, right? If you earn more, your economic damages will be much, much higher. If you're in a specialized field where it's hard to mitigate damages, and you make tons of money in your job, but it would be hard to find a comparable job, well, your economic damages may then also be higher, right? Treating with a mental health professional. If that helps you deal with your trauma, deal with the discrimination or the workplace sexual harassment that you faced, it can also help to increase the value of your emotional damages component of your um, damages calculation, right? So, in the not so helpful realm, we have earn more. Well, that's not going to be most helpful for most people, right? Because you earned what you earned, and then bad things happen, and now you can't change what you were earning before the bad things happened. You can certainly change what you earn in the future, but you can't change what you earned before, so you're kind of stuck with that one, right? But in the emotional damages, you can take steps to treat, to get the help that you need, and that can help to increase and add value to your potential emotional damages. It can also reduce risk of recovery on your emotional damages component. So I highly recommend, if you sincerely believe that a mental health professional would help you, it could also help the valuation of your case. And then you have the third component: if punitive damages are in play, right? If you have a retaliation claim, that can be a big driver of getting cases into that higher strata of evaluation, of case valuation, of settlement. And then there's a lot of intangibles, right? If you are suing somebody with a lot to lose, if you're suing somebody who's all reputation, somebody who's really worried about their public persona, right? I, for one, love suing public figures. I love suing reality stars. I love suing, people whose entire business is being liked, right? Because when they do something really bad and they wake up one day and say, wait a second, I could give this person $5 million, or I can lose everything, of which I'm worth hundreds of millions, they're going to give that person $5 million, right? I mean, that's dollars and cents. It's just logic, right? It's Machiavellian, ruthless logic. They're going to pay to an extent, right? I mean, you do have to be limited by what you actually could recover in the case. Otherwise, you're playing ethical games that you don't want to get into with the bar association. So there's limitations, even where they want to silence you, even where they want to purchase your silence, I should say, right? They always want to silence you, but if you play your cards right, they can't. Or at the very least, they have to beg you to agree to be silenced, and they have to pay you quite a bit for your silence, right? So that's all in play. there's always going to be this component of like asking. A lot of people want to ask for more than their case is worth, right? Like if you do a damages calculation and you say, okay, the most we think we can win at trial conceivably is like this amount of money. And then the client's like, great, cool, yeah, I want 17 times that. Well, okay. It is difficult from a leverage standpoint to ask for more than a case could win at trial, especially where you have a judge overseeing the settlement process. The judge is going to be like, nope, 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 you're never going to win that. So no, you're not going to get that in settlement. No. Or, an arbitrator will often take the same tact. Or even a mediator who's, not going to decide the case but can tell you, yeah, that's never going to happen, right? And that's going to kind of blow you out of the water, and you're not going to get what you asked for because you have a neutral third party being like, oh, you're a moron. Okay, now we know you're a moron. Shut up. We'll tell you what you're going to get, right? And then you have to be like, whoa, third party. Now you're the enemy. And you're like fighting with third party for your client. And defense counsel is sitting there like, well, this is a self-inflicted wound. Like, I'm just here. I want to give you money, but you asked for a crazy amount, and now the judge is against you. Can I just cut you a check for a reasonable sum, right? People always think the defense counsel is the enemy. Statistically speaking, the defense counsel just wants to cut you a check. There may be some disagreement about the valuation of that check, but the settlement rate in this field is quite high, and defense counsel wants to pay most often, right? If you have a good case, if you have a garbage case, they want to fight it out and bill like crazy and make tons of money off the case and then beat you down and win. Or if you're being dishonest, or if they sense weakness in some way, they don't want to settle at that point. They want to fight it out. But on the average case, the good case, the kind of cases that we generally have, right? They're like, if you could just shut up. I just want to. I got a pen and I got a check here. Maybe you just stop talking and we write some numbers down, right? That's generally their attitude. Which is uncaring and cold and kind of gross in that we're like attaching dollar figures to human suffering and like dollar figures as reparations for disgusting activities in the workplace, right? That's gross. But it's also good for my clients, and I can have whatever ideals I want, but my first ideal better be take care of my clients, right? So I can't be mad when defense counsel wants to do the thing that my client wants him to do, except that there's a disagreement about the valuation, right? There's lots of intangibles to having attorneys who are known to be always ready to try a case, having attorneys who are good at controlling the narrative in the public eye, having attorneys who have hurt some big public figures and some big companies in the past, right? There's some level where that can kind of add to the valuation of a case a little bit. Don't overvalue that, right? I mean, you're better off with a good attorney than a big name attorney, in my opinion. And listen, I think my firm is full of good attorneys. But some people might say, well, you got a bit of a notoriety, Vince, right? Listen, if you think you have a good attorney who's cheaper than me, and you're just like, well, this guy's got a little bit of notoriety, but this person, she's really amazing at her job, and she's like half the price. Yeah, maybe consider going with the really good attorney who's half the price, right? Don't overvalue a little bit of that name recognition, right? People think, oh, well, they've taken on big firms. They got lots of press. They've been on national media. They'll get me millions. No, the case is still the case. An attorney who's good at controlling the public narrative can add value and can certainly reduce risk and protect and can do things to protect you in the public eye. But it's not like they're going to print you money necessarily, right? So just keep that in mind to an extent. I hope I answered the question. Let me know if there's somewhere that I can drill down a little bit further to answer the question better. But I'm on 10 minutes here, and I don't think it was probably probably required like a 4-minute answer. So I apologize. Take care, everybody. Like and subscribe if this was helpful. It does help me to help more people just like you. And stay safe out there, everybody.